Namaste Vidya, myself JVN Neha Seni from Physiotherapy and Diagnostics, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Here I am going to tell you about the anatomy of the scapula. Scapula is a highly mobile bone that is situated on the posterior aspect of the body. So it can be best viewed from behind. There are two scapula, one on either side of the spinal column, and the vertebral level for the scapula location is from 2nd to 7th ribs. And the scapula is a flat triangular bone, and it has a number of interesting projections like on the there are two surfaces of the scapula, anterior and the posterior surface. On the posterior surface we have this spinous process, which is the identification feature for the posterior surface. So on the dorsal surface we have the spine of scapula. The area below the spine of scapula, this is known as infraspinous fossa, and the region above the spine is known as supraspinous fossa. So this is the supraspinous fossa viewed from above. Then there are three borders. This is the medial border close to the spinal column. This is lateral border. This is superior border. This is superior angle. This is inferior angle. Inferior angle lies below. Superior angle lies above. This is lateral angle. Lateral angle, also known as glenoid cavity of the scapula. This glenoid cavity articulates with the head of humerus and forms shoulder joint. Now we have three projections on the scapula, that is coracoid process, spinous process and acromion process. This is coracoid process. Coracoid means the beak of a crow. So this resembles the beak of a crow. This is spinous process, and this is acromion process. Now the muscles attached to the scapula. A number of muscles are attached to the scapula. There are four rotator cuff muscles which surround the shoulder joint and move the arm. These are subscapularis, supraspinatus, infraspinatus and teres minor. So this is the subscapularis muscle attached on the subscapular fossa, means the ventral surface of the scapula. It is a multipinnate muscle, and the tendinous attachments are also observed on the ventral surface of the scapula. So this is the subscapularis muscle originating from the subscapular fossa, that is anterior ventral surface of the scapula, inserting on the lesser tubercle of the humerus. This is the supraspinous fossa. This is giving origin to the supraspinatus muscle. So this supraspinatus muscle, after taking origin from the supraspinous fossa, inserts on the greater tubercle of the humerus. It is the abductor of the arm. Then this is the infraspinous fossa. This infraspinous fossa gives origin to the infraspinatus muscle. This is the infraspinatus muscle inserting on the greater tubercle. Then this is the lateral border of the scapula. In the upper part of the lateral border of the scapula, we have origin of teres minor. This is the teres minor muscle inserting on the greater tubercle of the humerus. This is the medial border of the scapula on its costal surface, that is anterior surface. This is giving insertion to serratus anterior muscle. Serratus anterior muscle is a muscle of the pectoral region. It arises from the upper 8 ribs and inserts on the medial border of the scapula on its anterior surface. Then this is the infraglenoid tubercle. Infra means below and glenoid means the glenoid cavity, that is the lateral angle. So below the lateral angle of the scapula we have the infraglenoid tubercle. This gives origin to long head of triceps brachii. So triceps has three heads, the long, lateral and the medial. Long arises from the infraglenoid tubercle. Lateral and medial head arises from the humerus. Now this is the tip of the coracoid process of the scapula. On this tip we have origin of coracobrachialis muscle along with biceps brachii. So this is the coracobrachialis muscle on the medial aspect, along with short head of biceps brachii on its lateral aspect. This is the superior surface of the coracoid process. On this we have insertion of pectoralis minor muscle. This pectoralis minor muscle is a key muscle of the pectoral region. It arises from the 3, 4th and 5th ribs and intercostal cartilages and inserts on the superior surface of the coracoid process of the scapula. Then this is the medial border dorsal surface. On the upper part of the medial border, on its dorsal surface, we have insertion of levator scapulae. This levator scapulae is a muscle of back of neck. The action of this muscle is elevation of the scapula. That is why it is named as levator scapulae. Then below that, on the medial border, again on the dorsal surface, we have attachment of rhomboid minor. Rhomboid minor is a small muscle and it is rhomboideous in shape. That is why it is named as rhomboid minor. It is again a muscle of the back. Then below that, on the medial border and the dorsal surface, we have attachment of rhomboid major. This is the rhomboid major muscle. It is a large muscle and it is rhomboid in shape. Then at the inferior angle of the scapula, we have origin of few fibers of latissimus dorsi. So latissimus dorsi is a muscle of the back and it is a broad flat muscle of the back. Then again on the lateral border in the lower part, we have the origin of teres major muscle. So this teres major muscle arises below the teres minor. So here we can see teres minor above and teres major below. Teres major attached on the anterior aspect and teres minor is attached on the posterior aspect of the uterus. Then this is the spine of scapula. On its upper border we have origin of trapezius muscle. Trapezius muscle is another muscle of the back. Then this is the lower border of the spinous process along with the lateral border of acromion process. This is the origin of deltoid muscle. Deltoid muscle is the muscle of the shoulder. It is forming the rounded contour of the shoulder. Now we come to the plight. It is the paralysis of the serratus anterior muscle, that is winged scapula. It is due to loss of innervation, that is long thoracic nerve, which is supplying to the serratus anterior muscle. When the serratus anterior muscle is paralyzed owing to injury to the long thoracic nerve, the medial border of the scapula becomes more, it moves laterally and posteriorly away from the thoracic wall and becomes more prominent when the patient is asked to push a wall. This condition is known as winged scapula or winging of scapula. Then next is the scaphoid scapula. In this, the medial border of the scapula becomes concave. Normally, the medial border of the scapula is convex, but in case of scaphoid scapula, it becomes concave. This is the congenital deformity, and this condition is known as scaphoid scapula. Now, the questions which are important for exams in this regarding this topic is, first question, write short note on attachments of the posterior surface of the scapula. So you have to discuss about the attachment, either it is a ligament or a muscle on the posterior surface of the scapula, and draw the related diagram. Then the second question is the from its applied, that is the winging of scapula. So you discuss about the winging of scapula and the causes for this. Now this is for your exercise. You have to draw this anatomical features of the scapula in your files and demarcate and label all the demarcated structure in this diagram, and draw this diagram only with pencil, or you can highlight it with the black pen. Then this second exercise, you have to draw this diagram in your files. These are the attachments of the scapula. For origin, use orange color. For insertion, use sky blue color only, and also label all the unlabeled structures in this diagram. So this completes your topic, the anatomy of the scapula. Thank you.